Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Arsenal Away podcast with me, Samrid and Ashwin. We're on all our socials. Twitter, of course, is at the Arsenal Away. YouTube, the Arsenal Away. Please click the bell icon and subscribe to our channel. Help us grow. You'll get notified whenever we upload a new video, and of course on Facebook as well. The Arsenal Away. Getting straight into it, the we played Burnley yesterday. Our 13th draw of the season, I think, Ashwin. We're becoming a team that now doesn't lose games, but we're not scoring enough either as well. It's and I think it seems like there's a drastic difference in how we're defending as well. I think Arteta's identified that we need to fix this first before we move further up the pitch when it comes to either creating chances or finishing them. But having said that, I thought the way we started, especially with the lineup that we had, was surprised to see Pepe not given a run. Lacazette still being preferred, and the lineup, I think, pretty much after Auba and Lewis coming back in, wrote themselves in. Torreira was a little bit of a surprise to not see him there. Your thoughts on the lineup and how you think we fared during the 90 minutes?
See, the only thing I can blame Arteta for was, as you mentioned, it was the lineup and the substitutions that he made. Because I felt that he left it too late with the last sub, bringing Eddie on in the 89th minute. I felt that, he made that change, bringing Ozil off, but I don't think Ozil had the worst of games. I think he was finding space. What really killed us was when, as soon as Saka got injured, I think we looked a little less vulnerable. We looked a little less potent going forward because he was a threat on the left and they weren't being able to contain him. As soon as he went off and we got Xhaka, we moved Xhaka to left back. That Xhaka didn't bomb forward like the way Saka does. So that sort of negated our attacking potential, and which is why you saw us being a little more poor towards the second half. We created some really good chances in the first half, and to be honest, we should have taken them. One fell to Lacazette in the first minute, and the other one where Luis played Aubameyang over the top, and it was an easy chance for him to bury. I don't know if it was rustiness for him not playing for the last 3 games, or did he just snatch at it? I don't know. But there were two clear-cut chances that we had, and we really should have taken. Another thing, one more stat for you. It's the first time since 1913 that we've only won 6 games in a Premier League season. You're right.
I saw the 106 years. I remember seeing this.
I mean, we're not losing games. I'll give you another stat. We've lost less games than probably Chelsea, United, Spurs, I think even City after yesterday. But we're just drawing. We've drawn 50% of our games. Out of 25 games, we've drawn 13 games and won just 6. So, I mean, there is improvement because under Emery, we were losing these games. And Arteta has come and steadied that. And who was to think that we'd struggle going forward? We thought we'd be more shaky defensively, but he's come and done a decent job. At the start of the season, if you told me that Luis and Mustafi would play well together and keep clean sheets, I mean, I'd laugh at you. But he steadied the defense. We are more compact in the back. We know what to do, and we look better at the back. But yeah, I mean, it is a little depressing because we're not scoring enough goals. We're not winning enough games. And whenever teams around us are dropping points, I mean, this was the weekend when United dropped points, Chelsea dropped points, Leicester dropped points. It was some place for us to get to. Come closer to top 4. I'm not ruling it out completely, but this was our chance. It just seems like every time that happens, we always seem to struggle as well.
Yeah, other teams dropping points and us not taking advantage of it is perennially been an issue with us. It's not the first time this has happened. It hopefully they start picking up results sooner rather than later, because like I've been saying, we need to go on a run that'll just automatically push us up the table. And it doesn't even have to be a 8-10 game run. I think just 2 to 3 games winning back to back will just propel us upwards, because again, I'm not looking at 4th place anymore. I think just in terms of confidence of where this team needs to be, just those 2-3 wins will back-to-back wins will just give them some sort of flow. going into the last third of the season as well. So I just think it's a matter of when that happens. We've got decent fixtures after the winter break as well. I think we're back at home. The first game back from the winter break. I'm hoping now that he'll have more time with the players in warmer climates, away from the media speculation and media hype and eyes on the team and how we've been doing. Um, this should have maybe come earlier after the Leicester game, like I think multiple people have pointed that out during multiple times. But I think this will be a good break for us. I think this is the constant uh, the way that the games have been coming at Arteta, and I mean, he's done a decent job. It's just at times it's been VAR, it's been poor form. Aubameyang was just uncharacteristically out of touch yesterday. Lacazette's just been off anyways. Ozil, I mean, I hear you when you say that he looked fine, but yesterday was one of those games that no matter what we did, just couldn't work out. We should have been 3-0 up in 20 minutes the way that we were playing. Some of the chances that we had. In fact, if I'm saying we were 3-0 up, we could have lost it right at the end when Burnley had I think clear cut chance from 2 yards out and they missed. So I went for a score draw the last time because I'm just not seeing. I don't think it's a talent or issue anymore. It's just that it's just getting into the flow of things, and I understand where Arteta's focus is, but um, out of 13 games, if we just end up even winning 5 or 6 of them, that'll shoot us up to the table and just build us up for the next season. But I'm not really sure what to make of. I'm still on the fence, as most people are with Arteta. I'm happy with how things are going, but I just think there's so much more of a gap to do well. Liverpool are 40 points ahead. And I think that's the largest gap I've ever known of Arsenal behind the Premier League leaders or eventual champions ever in my lifetime, at least. So just this enormity of the task ahead is it's I can't fathom it. I've not been in a situation as an Arsenal fan ever before.
Today at work, I was actually talking to a friend of mine who's a Liverpool fan, and he's like, 4 years ago when Klopp came into Liverpool, he said we were in a similar situation where, most of the games where we should have won, we drew, and they finished eighth that year. I'm not saying Arteta is going to turn out to be like Klopp. I wish he does, but I'm just saying that we got to give him some time. And okay, even though we've drawn since he's come, we played 7 games, we've probably drawn 4 of them. The good thing is we haven't lost, but the bad thing is that we're not converting these draws or these winnable games into, easy games into wins. I'm not saying most of the games were easy, but I'm still saying a few of them were winnable, and we really should have taken 3 points there and been a little more higher in the table. But that being said, after the transfer window, you could clearly see that the hierarchy on top wanted to keep the powder dry because they wanted to give Arteta all the money available for the summer, which is why we made 2 loan signings. Cedric Suarez came in from Southampton and Pablo Mari came in from Flamingo. And you can see that a lot of people were trying to say that Arsenal are not showing ambition, but I think it works out well for us. If they do really well, we can sign them for a cheap fee. And if they don't do really well, they can always send them back. So we've got 2 guys in positions that we really needed cover and where we were really struggling. And I thought those 2 signings did well for us. I mean those 2 signings are good for us, but time will only tell once they play for us and we see how they've done. But yeah, coming back to Lacazette, I feel that I think this break has come in good time for him and for Arsenal. But I think Arteta needs to drop him for some time. Maybe try the forward line of Martinelli, Pepe, and Aubameyang. Push Aubameyang to his natural position. Have 2 wingers run at defenders. Or maybe try something else. Maybe play a 4-4-2, give Ozil a break, play Lacazette behind Aubameyang so that they have that dual threat. Plus, you have two guys coming on the wing because he needs to do something different. I know this is predominantly a Unai Emery team, and he's going to have to clear out a lot of deadwood before he brings in his own players. But nonetheless, whatever's happened, I still see progress. I'm still happier than what I was seeing under Emery. So I'm definitely backing him, and I'm definitely going to give him some time before we make any judgment.
So interesting, you brought up the people who we were able to sign, Pablo Mari and Cedric Soares. I think centre back was definitely an issue for him, and I think the short term fixes for both, be it Mari or Soares, I think makes sense. Just just how we are defensively and how injury prone we are. What was interesting was, I'm not sure if you know, I'm sure you probably would have seen this or not. Ozil apparently was subject to a deadline day bid from somewhere in the Middle East, and we would have let him go if it would have. If it seems like we would have let him go if it would have come in earlier, but because it came in so late, and I think there was not enough time to complete the paperwork and maybe line up a replacement, Arsenal didn't do it. But it was apparently, if we had let him go, we would have probably, we were looking at likes of Leipzig's Danny Olmo and Yannick Carrasco as well. So I think there is a realization now in the club that it's just not worth the pain, or it's not just not worth the. It's not worth financially now. I think to keep him on, I think they will look to cash in on him in the summer, and maybe give Arteta as much help as possible, like they did with Emery. Because to be fair to the board, and the Kroenkes, they did back Emery, and you and I spoke about this at length earlier as well. And we've been talking about this for a while now. Even in summer, we said that it's all on Emery now, because if it doesn't work out, it's his neck. So I think the willingness is there, and I think they want to give Emery, they want to give Arteta the backing as well. So that was, I mean, and I read this completely out of the blue. I just happened to come across it, and I wouldn't say I was surprised, because I think it's been on the cards for a while now. I just didn't think we would act upon it. It would have been it would have been completely out of left field if we'd happened to have let him go. Um, but the fact that the willingness was there, I think it shows that I think the summer will be we'll see a new team completely, I think, emerge. And like you said, just getting rid of a lot of deadwood, like we did last summer with Raul's contacts, and everybody, and then go back to calling him Don Raul. But I think with the signing that we made, I think they're good, needed people. Hopefully they work out for us.
I think the club probably has about 60 to 70 million in reserve for Arteta, and they're looking at probably offloading players like you mentioned, Mesut. Maybe get about 30 million for him. One of either Aubameyang or Lacazette, they will offload because both of them run into the last year of their contract, and if one of them is not going to sign, so you can say another 30, 35 million for Lacazette there, maybe about 50 million for Aubameyang. That's cash there. If you try selling Mustafi, you get about 15 million for him. So those are, I think, what they're planning to do is, with the player sales, get about another 80 to 100 million and give that budget to Arteta so that he can pick and choose a few players. I don't know if we're going to be able to afford a big star name like we did for Pepe, pay about 70, 80 million for one player. But we might see a couple of 30, 35 million rated players come in, and I mean, the sort of players that Arteta wants so that he can build his team around that. You got to remember that it didn't happen for Liverpool also in one window. They took some time. Van Dijk came in a separate window. Alisson came in a separate window. Mohamed Salah came in a different window. So we can't expect miracles from Arteta because we don't have the sort of budgets that a City, a United, or a Chelsea have. We're going to have to play it smartly, build accordingly, and just be very smart in the market. Because, like you mentioned, our squad right now is aging a little bit. Most of our talented players in the squad are older than, say, than what we want. your likes of Aubameyang, Ozil, Lacazette, they're all 28 and plus. So he's going to have to build for the future. He's going to have to pick up smart buys. Uh, I don't mind him finding players like, say, like a Torreira, like a Guendouzi, like a Martinelli. Go out there, put your faith in these young gems who can become superstars for the future, and take it from there, because that's the only way we're going to be. We're going to have to follow a sort of model that Leicester City have done, where they picked up these gems and found unearthed these players. Because I don't think we can ever compete with the likes of City, with the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, uh, Chelsea, because they have the funds that I don't think we'll ever have.
No, you're right. There is a need to obviously bring in players like that suit Arteta style. Not saying it'll happen, but Sane is apparently will be in the market for about 37 something million, is because he's, I think, in his last year of his contract. I know he was linked with Bayern, so he probably end up there as well. But I think if not that caliber, I mean, obviously that caliber of player, but maybe someone who's not as established as him, or similar players who Arteta wants. I'm sure they will do that. Obviously, I understand the Liverpool comparison. I don't like making it anymore, because we've seen that with Emery. We had the same parallel that was drawn when he came here as well. So I just think it's far too early for us to even say that we're like Liverpool, because at the end of the day, Liverpool were backed by someone who who had a clear plan. We've not really seen what that plan is with the current owners or with the current board for a good while now. If they have something that like that in place, and results improve and he gets the kind of players he wants, I think we will probably be there or thereabouts. I would, if nothing else from next season, I just want to see us make progress. Winning the league or winning any of the major trophies is obviously not even in question right now. As long as we make progress, make it back to Champions League, have that sustained spot at the big boy stable, and then hopefully in about 3-4 years, assuming everything goes fine and Arteta has the patience or the ability to stick around with the team for that long, um, and then maybe we can go out winning things. But it's not going to be easy. It's just with the way the league has been. I mean, I get there's a 22-point gap, and the other teams have been quite terrible. City have been really bad this season for their standard. But everyone else, I think we had better squads than the likes of a Chelsea or a Leicester or a Spurs even. We just haven't made use of it, and that's more down to um, both the players underperforming way below what their levels are, and of course having a manager who just wasn't up for it. Um, which who reminds me has just been mouthing off some random shite anyways, that's not something that is really worth talking about at this point. Maybe we can do that for next week's episode. But yeah, no, I think a long way to go. There's I'm looking forward to see what we bring, how the team improves after the break. Just because it'll just be concerted um, focus on just on training and trying to get better. Hopefully, this break revitalizes players and we come back all guns firing.
For some reason, I know you don't want to. We just spoke about not wanting to do the Liverpool comparison, but I have a feeling that we probably end up the same way that Liverpool did the first season under Klopp. We might. I mean, even after the international, the winter break, the games in the league might be the same. We might end up drawing more games, win a couple of more games. I mean, win a few games here and there, but end up drawing more or less most of the games. We might end up finishing, say, a seventh or an eighth. But I have a feeling that the team will really step it up in the Europa League, because that's where the pressure is not there. Because they feel that in the Premier League, because they haven't won for so long, that the pressure is going to get to them. I think the Europa League, they'll play a little freely. We might make it to the final, and I have a feeling like how Liverpool lost to Sevilla in the final when Unai Emery was in charge there. I have a feeling it might be a step too far for us as well. We might get till the final and lose. But again, then as you mentioned, it's not something that we should be expecting from Arteta this season. Trophies is not all we should be basically looking out for Arteta is for him to stabilize the ship a little bit, for him to just get some sort of semblance of the way he wants to play football, and bring back a philosophy into the guys who, bring back a winning philosophy into and mentality back into the squad. And from what we are seeing, the team is showing more fight. They're showing more purpose, and it's encouraging. So I hope it goes on. I hope it continues. But I see it the same way that the way Liverpool played. I think we probably give it our best and go really far in the Europa League. We probably face a few good teams, and we probably beat them. We probably encourage the squad to fight more, and then probably be a little. The last step might be a little too much for us, and we might end up losing again, which will probably be heartbreaking for us. But then he'll have that summer. He'll have and there'll be key questions over there whether Aubameyang wants to extend his contract because he's got 1 year left, whether we sell Lacazette, whether we bring somebody else in. So these are the sort of things that I'm sure even Mikel is looking forward to, and all of us are looking forward to, because this season's been absolutely horrendous for us. Like you mentioned, I don't know the last time that we were 40 points off the leaders. Even under Wenger's worst season, we were still winning games. We were still doing better than even under Emery's worst season. We were still doing. This is Emery's worst season, but you get the point. I've never seen us like this. We've got worse than being mid-table as well. We're almost a team that's lower mid-table now. No, lower, like the lower part of the table. And before we started the game yesterday, we were 13th and in danger of going to 14th if we had lost yesterday, and we almost did against Burnley. But credit where due, I think we slag off Mustafi a lot and we slag off Xhaka a lot. The two of them had good games. Xhaka slotted into a position which wasn't his, and he did really well there. Mustafi's come back. He's done really well. I thought Bellerin had a decent game. He wasn't too good yesterday. He wasn't. I don't know if it was the Burnley fullbacks that kept pinning him back, that weren't giving him the permission, or I just think that he didn't really have that rhythm that we usually have. I know Arteta came out in his press conference and blamed the pitch, saying that they didn't water it and it was really hard to play on. But that's something we should be expecting, because they know that Arsenal love the slick flowing football to play with, and most teams are going to do that. They are going to disrupt our flow and disrupt the play. I mean, that's home advantage. That's allowed. They're allowed to do that.
Do you think I don't know, and so sorry to interrupt, but I get this distinct feeling now whenever we go away to Burnley that we're playing Stoke.
Yeah.
And I despise this team completely. Like my hatred for a team. I mean, I don't like. I despise Spurs as well, but Stoke is right up there. Almost, sorry, Burnley are right up there. Everything about them, from their stadium to their manager, it to their fans, it just annoys me to no end. And the fact is that as much as Sean Dyche might want to complain that we're hard to beat, and we're not as hard to beat as we used to be, and any team can compete against us, we still haven't lost to them in the Premier League ever since we started playing them. So I mean, that's the only point I wanted to make. That these guys remind me of Stoke, and it's just I just don't like watching them play. They're just not a good fun side to watch, or even visit for that matter.
I mean, this has been the case with Sean Dyche's previous teams as well. When he was not with Burnley, he always made sure that the game was physical. That they made use of their set plays, because that's one way of that. I mean, every Arsenal team, from Wenger to Emery to Arteta to Ljungberg's team, have been vulnerable at set pieces. It's like in our DNA that we don't know how to defend set pieces, and even like so, they make sure that they crowd players, they get in people's faces, and it's the same thing with the fans as well. Like, they boo. I don't know why were they booing Luis from the start yesterday? What did he do? And the chance of same old Arsenal always cheating always comes up, even when they fouled a player. And so, like you mentioned, I don't like Burnley fans, and I don't like the Burnley team either, because they're very physical. They get in your face. They play a brand of football that you don't really like. It started with Bolton. I remember when Sam Allardyce was there. Then Stoke took it on, and now Burnley seem to have taken it on. But yeah, since whatever, I mean, Sean Dyche can whine as much as he wants. They've still not managed to beat us. But that's nothing to be proud of. It's not like we're talking about a Man City or a Liverpool or anything. But yeah, improvements. We've been mentioning this from the last 3-4 podcasts that there are improvements, but we just don't seem to be getting over the line. We really need to take, our strikers really need to take these chances and make them count, because you can't get more than 2 or 3 chances in a game. And when you get those chances, you have to make them count.
I think there's definitely um, a lack of cutting edge. Surprisingly, with us, it was never an issue scoring goals. I mean, just I think over the last day or two, they've been promoting the Arsenal hand has been coming up with Auba's 2 years, and us thrashing Everton 5-1 with Mkhitaryan had three assists, Ramsey hat trick, Auba's first goal. So it's there. It's just a matter of when. um so yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's hard. It's not hard to watch. At least I'm going to get watching these games now, saying, okay, you know what, even if we lose, I'm sure these guys are good, like really going to fight. It seems like they're going to fight tooth and nail to even concede a goal, because they know the likes of an Arteta right there, on their back. But yeah, hopefully after we're back from the winter break, it's they're all refreshed, and we see a different Arsenal now in the final few months of the season.
Yeah, I mean the next 4 games, we have 3 home games and 1 away game. It's Newcastle home, Olympiacos away in the Europa League, followed by Everton home and Olympiacos home. So we've got to make the most of that. Uh, I know Newcastle is not going to be easy. Everton with Ancelotti is not going to make it easy. But these are the games that we need to win, and we need to get that. We need to get it over the line so that the team has that confidence again. Where once I feel just that 1 or 2 goals, even if Lacazette gets that 1 goal, I think it starts breeding confidence in him, and we go from strength to strength from there. Anyway, that's the show. Thanks, Amrit. Thanks for being on. And like
No worries.
start of the show, you can find us on Twitter at the Arsenal Away, on Facebook as well at the Arsenal Away. Our YouTube channel is the Arsenal Away. Please like, share, and subscribe. There's a small bell icon over there, so every time we come up with a video, you get notified. Thanks, guys. See you soon.